The Charlie Draft is near complete. The Delta Draft Selection Show is this Saturday. And we have an Alpha team pulling an Art Medell on the Alliance. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. Let's see who's out there with us tonight. I see MJ on with us, Damian Scott on with us, Josh on with us, says he loves the title. I wrote the guys from Empty Wagon this week, and I told them, hey, I think you guys are going to like the title that we put out there this week. I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you. Jenna says hi. Jenna, how are you? Damian Gratz out there with us as well. Athena out there with us. Athena, how are you? Things will get better, I promise. Don't worry about it. Part-time, full-time, you got to do whatever you got to do to make money right now. MJ, so let's get the party started. Sean on with us as well. Sean, how are you? Good evening. Hey, I don't know why I'm not on this screen already. What the heck is going on with me tonight? I'm trying to do things that we're not used to doing, but you know what screen I really want to be on in this one, and this is why. Because Football Darts. First, we'd like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed, multiple-target dart board. Unlike traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategies of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgates, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Let's see, Randy's on with us. Oh, Randy's on with us. Hi, Randy, how are you? I have a question for you. Are you working? Have you retired yet? Am I ever going to see you again? I miss you a lot. Just saying that. I'm putting it out there for the world to know. Next thing I would like to talk about is the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Josh was already on there tonight, and he says he likes the title. If you don't understand the title of tonight's show, that means you did not listen to their broadcast this week, and shame on you for not doing that. They say an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. Listen to our partners, Josh, Eric, and Brad, talk fantasy football on their podcast, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings, projections with a whole lot of comedy. This week they talked about, is Dak getting paid? Dak is ridiculous for the amount of money that he's asking for right now, in my opinion, and that's a humble opinion, but I let those guys talk about it because they are the experts. They laid down some NFL news, some of which we're going to go over a little bit later on in this show, and they spent a majority of this last podcast going over the Charlie Dynasty Draft, which we really, really appreciate. Thank you guys for going in and doing that. They did a very deep dive on the Charlie Draft, and we do appreciate it. If you still haven't listened to the show, you don't understand the title of our show this week, you need to definitely go out and listen to their show. You can find them wherever you listen to your podcast, and subscribe to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow them on all of their social media at Empty Wagon FF, and now you can find them on their website, www.emptywagonff.com. Let's see who else is out there. Let's see, Randy, Steph is out, David's out there, thank you. Kevin's on with us. Deb is out there. Deb, hello, how are you? Great show this week. Oh, I'm going to assume that you mean the Empty Wagon guys and not me because we're just getting started. Awesome listen. If you guys are not already listening, you're doing fantasy wrong. That's coming from Damian Scott. Damian, thank you very much for those guys. Let's get some people in here. Doug is on with us. Dougie, how are you? Dougie Fresh on with us. If you all don't know who he is, you haven't been paying attention to me long enough. MJ says like and share this video. I would appreciate that if you did. And if you do like the show tonight, share, subscribe. I'm going to go over here to this scene right here. I think I'm on the right one. You can see all of our social media right there across the bottom. Make sure you go to all of those. And MJ, thank you for the prompt right there for that as well. Somebody's on from Fantasy Sports Alliance saying hello. but I'm Fantasy Sports Alliance. Oh, it's from Brandon. Brandon, how are you, man? You tripped me out there for a second. I'm like, how am I doing this and still on at the same time? That's awesome. Eric on with us as well. Eric, how are you? So please, yeah, if you like the show tonight, go out and subscribe. All of our stuff is down there at the bottom. And MJ, I'm glad you brought that up because a couple of the things that I had that I wanted to make sure that I made finish line, or what we call in the FSA industry SMART goals for the 2020 season that we wanted to achieve. I wanted to make sure that we reached 200 subscribers on Twitter this year. Thanks to the help of everybody from Empty Wagon and Damien and Eric and everybody else that I met through Twitter this year that have liked the FSA Twitter page, we have already reached that 200 mark, and I wanted to do that by season's end. So thank you to everybody that's out there. If you're not following us on Twitter, go out and do that. One of the other SMART goals that I had for the year was making sure that we reached 500 subscribers on our Instagram. I went out and looked at Instagram just before we went live tonight. We're 5 subscribers away, or 5 people away from 5 followers away on Instagram for reaching that 500. So if you're not already following us on Instagram, go out and do that as well. I don't know what's going on with the video. It's popping in and out saying we're live or not live. I really do believe the signal booster that I added to that was supposed to help all of this is making it not as good as I thought it was going to. Ryan on with us as well. Ryan, how are you? You're not late. We haven't got a chance to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about with you, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. I'm just kind of spouting off at the mouth right now. Before I get to the next part of it, MJ says, I was going to ask, Walter, are you alive? Walter? I'm a little confused by Walter, are you alive? You'll have to explain that one to me, MJ. Anyway, so SMART goal was 200 on Twitter. We reached 500 on Instagram. We're 5 away, and 500 on Facebook. I don't know how far away we are on Facebook, but I know it's more than just 5 away. So if you're not already following us on all of those things, please go out and follow us on all of those social media outlets. Don't forget about our YouTube channel. We're going to mention it again a little bit later on in the show. But please, please, please go out and hit us up on all of those. And I'm going to do a little bit of a change on the scenery right now because of the next topic that we're getting ready to get into. So I mentioned at the top of the show we had an art model going on in the Alpha League. So after the NFL decided that they were going to move the Raiders from Oakland to Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Outlaws of the Alpha League and their team owner, Chris Simpson, decided that there was not enough room in Vegas for 2 professional football teams. And as a reaction, Simpson has decided that he's going to move his team to a location where he anticipates that the NFL will not move a team anytime soon. And we would like to introduce to you the Fargo Freeze. So when Chris put out to me that he wanted to move his team because he liked his branding for this team so much for the Delta Fantasy Football League, that we decided to go back and do all of the graphical representation like we've done for Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. We wanted to make sure that everybody saw it tonight. Now, with Chris moving his team from the Las Vegas Outlaws to the Fargo Freeze, it did not change the division that he's going to be in. It did not change any of the scheduling. The only thing that's going to change is his brand. And as soon as we get done with the show tonight or tomorrow, we will be changing all of that in the Alpha League. So I wanted to make sure everybody saw that. And let's get my ugly mug back up here. See what else is out there. Josh says that is sick. Yeah, it's a nice looking logo, actually. You really have to dig hard to find out who the Fargo Freeze are. Even after I started working all of the brand for him, I had to go out multiple times and dig for this. So the Fargo Freeze were part of the IPFL, I think what it was, which was the Indoor Professional Football League. Dig hard for that so you can find them. But there are a couple of websites that have done a really good justice of that particular league and all of the branding that's out there. So it really helped me bring that to life. Let's see. That's awesome. Anything I can do to help FSA to get more followers, love it. Damien, thank you very much for the post that you put out there on Twitter for us earlier today. I loved it, the picture that you took and it had the title of FSA right across that notebook that you had out there. Warm and fuzzy in my heart for it, so appreciate it. And also, thank you for doing that work from the quarterbacks. I don't know how much you'll get to the running backs, and I know that is a huge task that you're taking on right now, but it was super cool to go out and see what you've done. If you all don't know, go out and follow Damian Scott. And Damian, if what I'm saying right now is Damian Scott is not you on Twitter and you have a different handle that you want everybody to go find you out, type it down here right now. And make sure everybody goes out and follows it. What he ended up doing was the average draft pick for all of the quarterbacks that have already happened against Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. And I really think that was probably more self-serving than anything because he is part of the Delta League as well. And we have our draft upcoming sometime soon. And I think that was for him to try to figure out what he wanted to do as we get ready for that league. But also good information for everybody that's out there. MJ says, Jeff Hooper, hey buddy. So it must be somebody that I can't see, but MJ can see. Also for Janice as well. My nephew, Christian Brown, is out there tonight. Christian, I don't know if you're still on or not. Hi, how are you? Matt Furby, not as good as the Steel Valley Smash. Steel Valley Smash is from the same league as the Fargo Freeze. Awesome logo. If you haven't got a chance to see what the new banners look like for the Delta League, go out and look. You already know how to find them. Go out to any of the FSA pages you're already on MFL. Go to League Links. Click on whatever league that you want. In this case, you want to go out to the Delta League and look at it and go see what we did different for the banners for those guys. Not exactly what you saw tonight, what we did with the Fargo Freeze and kind of backwards engineering what their stuff looked like for the Alpha League, but they have some really good stuff out there for the Delta League. Makes it much easier for me to put together, but also a very good look. So we've already talked about the Fargo Freeze. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if the guys that have been bringing this up in the GroupMe chat rooms are here tonight. Some of the guys in Alpha Bravo have been asking for us to open up the waiver wire early for those two leagues. I think it's mostly coming out of the Bravo League. I get it. We're all bored. We want something to do. There's no sports going on right now. Maybe there were some people that you picked at the end of the draft that after you made the pick, you thought, oh, I want somebody else. Don't necessarily want that player. So there are some people that are out there that would like us to open up the waiver wire for Alpha and Bravo. And I can't say that about Charlie yet because Charlie is still drafting. So some people are asking for it. I realize that we're all bored, but the good thing about running each one of these leagues separate from each other is we can do something in the Alpha League that we don't necessarily have to do in the Bravo League. So if Alpha says, hey, we don't want to open up the waiver wire yet, but Bravo does, we can. So I want to know from the Alpha and the Bravo League, are you all wanting to open up waiver wire before what's already scheduled? The schedule says that we're not going to open up waiver wire until after week 1 of the regular season. So if you want to open it now, let me know. Either let me know here tonight or leave a comment on this after the video is over tonight and you're watching this not live but on a replay of it. And I'll come back and I'll watch it and I'll read it and see what you all say. I'm going through here. Josh Hughes says he votes for it to be opened. Ross Norris says, I have a face for radio. Brother, you are not lying. I'm telling you. I don't even have a face for radio or a voice for anything. And somehow I am narrating an Army event tomorrow that I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning for. That's crazy to me. Please comment on that. So Sean says he's indifferent for opening for the waivers, and I also got a couple messages on GroupMe today from both sides. Alpha and Bravo says they're a little indifferent. So the additional questions that I have for us opening it up for waiver wires are, if we do in fact open it up for waiver wire, are we going to do first come first serve? Are we going to open it up to the free agent acquisition budget? And what does that schedule look like? Do we do it just like we would do in season where we only have that certain days of the week kind of thing? Furby says yes. Brian says he's sticking to the league calendar. Sean says he's indifferent. Quite a few people are talking about it right now. So what I'll do is, because those comments are coming from both the Alpha and the Bravo League, I will go back through and filter those out after the show. We had said, as we were thinking about putting this together, if we were going to do this, that we would probably open it up to 1 June to have it happen. Because of all of the comments, and I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to watch this video and give its due diligence and thought process. If we're going to do it, we might wait until 8 June before we do it, but I want to not only take in what I'm hearing on Facebook tonight, but also reach out to the GroupMe chat rooms and see what everybody says. Damian Scott says these guys are being dropped because of trades that should be on the roster. Bravo approves this moves and we should open it up. Brian Lewis says if we're going to open it, we should use the Fab. Josh says Fab. Damian Gratz says Fab. Make sure everybody's notified. Yeah, absolutely. Matt is saying no to the Fab at first come, first serve. I would definitely let everybody know before we open it up. I would put it on the calendar. In fact, I'd probably make it a calendar event on MFL, so hopefully it would alert all of you. But hey, Addison, how are you? It's good to see you, man. Like I said last week that we need to hook up with each other, and it still hasn't happened. We're going to make it happen soon. I will make sure everybody knows. I will get a thumbs up for everybody if we decide that this is the way we're going to go before we actually do it. I don't want anybody to be left without the knowledge that it's happening. So that is enough about opening up the waiver wire between Alpha and Bravo. Definitely, as you can see by the mixed reactions, still open for discussion. We've got, if I decide that we're going to do it on 8 June versus 1 June, we got some time to react to it. So please let me know your thoughts. Hey, one of the things that I realized over the last couple of weeks that we haven't been doing is I talked to Frank and Mike Silva. Those are the two guys that created QB54. We have not been doing our due diligence to make sure that we are giving them their proper props. And you haven't seen this for a while. And for those of you that are brand new, you've probably never seen this unless you went back and watched an old broadcast of the show. But I want you to see what QB54 is about. And then I have something to say about it after you're done watching it. So we got a 1-minute spot for QB54. Please enjoy. If you've never seen that commercial before, we are an ambassador of QB54. You can get a set of those QB54 chairs at a discount by using a certain code. It is hashtag iPlayFSA, or I think when you go to purchase, it is iPlayFSA. They are going to become part of something very significant that we are going to announce next week. If you want to know more about what that's going to look like, make sure you come back for next week's program. It is going to be a huge announcement. So I wanted to make sure that Mike, Frank, and QB54 got their due diligence tonight. So thank you guys for what we're about to announce next week. Let's see what's out there. MJ says, love QB54. Go buy this for the family fun and tailgating. So MJ bought a set off of us last year during the football season. So MJ, thank you for that. I hope you and the family are still enjoying it. So yes, please go out and check out QB54. Look for them on all of their social media outlets and follow them, please. So we have some NFL news. You might be wondering why I'm wearing a Jets jersey tonight and a Seahawks hat. The two pieces of NFL news that are pretty relevant have to do with these two teams. First one is quarterback Joe Flacco signing with the Jets. don't really know how significant that is or how big of a news that is. Kind of crazy to me that Joe Flacco got signed, a quarterback who might still not start because he's injured because of the neck surgery that he had, when Cam Newton is still sitting out there. But I know Cam's looking for starter money, not backup money. So there's that piece of NFL news. And then the Seahawks signed running back Carlos Hyde, which is why I've got the Seahawks hat on tonight. And then one piece of information that I did not hear about until just before I came live, and I was looking through the MFL stuff of the last 100 news stories, was free agent running back Devontae Freeman says he might consider retirement if he does not receive a contract offer that he likes. And all I can say is, Mr. Freeman, enjoy the retirement, because you're probably not going to get a contract that you like. Sorry for you. Gase is lost. Josh has been saying this. If you've been listening to Empty Wagon for quite a while, head coach of the New York Jets says he's lost. And you know what? I have to be in all fairness. When I heard that he was coming over to coach the Jets, I thought the Jets are getting a great offensive mind coming from Miami. I thought he was going to be really, really good. He's an idiot. Like, I can't wait for them to let him go, because whoever they get him in, even if it's a bag of potato chips, is going to be better than him as a head coach. So hopefully he's gone sometime soon. That is the biggest portion that we have of the show tonight. There is, in addition to more news to come with QB54, we have one more nugget of information that we're going to give to you all next week. And we are holding on to that until we can make both announcements at the same time. As soon as the announcements are made, we're also going to put out press releases for both of these announcements. But I almost, like I'm a little kid in a candy store right now, almost letting the cat out of the bag. I want to tell you about both of these, but we're teasing you all, kind of doing that cutting off at the end of an episode of your favorite show, hoping that you'll come back next week, because we hope you will be back next week and you'll get to hear these nuggets of information. Let's talk about membership count as we're wrapping up the show for the night. Hard to be picky when you're an aging running back. Damian Scott says, yeah, not a bad deal for Carlos Hyde going over there. I can't really fault them for trying to pick up somebody. I can pick them up, kind of fault them a little bit on Carlos Hyde when Devontae Freeman is out there, especially since we're not sure what the health is for all of the other running backs that are sitting there right now. So, yeah, it's a little weird situation in both New Jersey, we'll say New Jersey, New York Jets, and then Seattle right now. Membership count. Over the long weekend, we had a 4-day weekend. Thank you to the Army. We were able to get the 5th and final round of the Alpha Draft Analysis posted. So that is there. If you haven't looked at it yet, go out and do that. We also were able to get all of the Bravo Draft Analysis out there. If you haven't got a chance to go out and look at that as well. Let's talk about the Charlie Draft for a second. Just before we came live, we looked. They are getting ready to begin round 25 of 28, I believe. I don't know how far we're into that so far. And then please don't forget about the Redraft League. We did send an email out over the weekend trying to reach out to all of the players that were with us in 2019. Everybody that's in the Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta Leagues, that says that if you're not already signed up for the Redraft League, please go out and do that if it's something that you would like to be involved in outside of the Dynasty Leagues. We are currently at 34 members in the Redraft, so please go out and do that. And if you would like to see what any of these leagues look like, no matter what version of FSA that you're playing under, please go out to the horizontal menu that is across the top of the page. Go to links, mouse over league links, and then pick whichever league it is that you want to look at. We have added the Delta League to that. I already said a little bit ago in the show that we changed the banners for each one of the teams. So if you want to know what the new look banners look like, go over and look at those. Simplified them a little bit, but they are super, super nice. In fact, a couple of the general managers that are going to be playing over in the Delta League asked, why don't our ones in Alpha Bravo Charlie look like that? And I wish you all would have told me that's what you want them to look like, because it would have saved me a lot of time. But they do look really, really good. And I can't take anything away from what they look like over in Alpha Bravo and Charlie. Brian Lewis says that Charlie is at 25.04, which means they're in the fourth pick in the 25th round. Brian, thank you for that nugget. Also, we're already telling you to make sure that you're following us on all of the social media links that you see at the bottom of the page right now. Make sure you also go out and see us on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel. Go out and look Fantasy Sports Alliance. There's probably 2 channels still out there unless YouTube finally did their job and took away the old one that's out there. Follow us, please. We have 47 followers that are out there, or 47 subscribers that are out there right now. We can get a custom YouTube channel name when we reach 100, and we can start doing our live broadcasts and hopefully not having all the same issues that we're having on Facebook right now once we're over on YouTube. So if you're already not subscribing to us on YouTube, please go out and do that. And then also make sure you're following us on all of our social media links that are down there at the bottom, and GroupMe. Reach out to us if you aren't already on GroupMe and would like to be part of the GroupMe family, and we will add you. The reason I say make sure you go and follow us on the YouTube channel is as of 1 August, after we get done doing the draft selection shows for all of the redraft leagues, or redraft regions, you will no longer be able to find us on Facebook for a rerun or a repost of the show. You're going to have to go over to YouTube and watch this if you do not see it live. So if you're not already following us on YouTube, please go over Fantasy Sports Alliance and subscribe. Next broadcast, what's it going to look like? So we've already mentioned a couple times throughout the show that we are in the timeline of getting ready for the Delta Dynasty draft selection show, which is going to happen on this Saturday at 3 p.m. East Coast time, just like we've done with all of the other Dynasty leagues of Alpha Bravo Charlie. So that will happen at 1500, 3 p.m. on Saturday East Coast time for the Delta League. And then they will begin drafting the following Monday, which I believe is 30 May. No, 30 May is the Saturday of the draft selection show. 1 June is the Monday, and we will start at 6 o'clock in the morning. Already got a consensus from the Delta League that we are going to reduce the pick time between each picks to 4 hours, but we will still do the pausing of the clock between midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning. Most of the people that are in the Delta League are East Coast time, except for one that we have over in Europe, Chris Simpson. So hopefully that will move us along pretty well with not having a big variety of like we had for some of the other ones, some of the other regions that we've already drafted. So please go out and check out our YouTube channel. That is it. Like I said, don't forget to be back here next week on Wednesday as the 2 things that we kind of teased about tonight, the QB54 commercial, and one additional thing that we would like to talk about next week will be announced next week. That being said, we would like to thank all of our sponsors. Finger Lake Mercantile, which is Brandon Grums, who was on earlier, who I thought was me, which I thought was very, very odd that I was saying hi to myself. Nature Coast Tailgating, another Brandon, who's going to be our World Championship sponsor this year. To Southern Siren Sugar Scrub, MJ's on with us right now, a sponsor this year as well. Football Darts, our broadcast sponsor, and Jonathan Davies, thank you very much. Deep South Creations, our third Brandon that is part of our sponsorship crew. They are going to be a bowl game sponsor this year. And of course, the Recast, who are the official music of the FSA. That is it for the night. We are sitting exactly at 30 minutes. I don't know what the pauses look like tonight. I apologize for any technical difficulties we might have had. I'm going to pull this daggone booster out of the system before on Saturday and hope that we don't have any issues. If you liked the show tonight, make sure you go out and like and subscribe us here and share us here on Facebook and out on YouTube. It's going to look a little something like this when you're out doing it on YouTube. And then we will see you on Saturday for the Delta Dynasty Draft Selection Show, 3 p.m. East Coast time, and we will be back here next week for the regularly scheduled broadcast. Hope you all liked it tonight.